Flags, songs, drama, and glitter. If it's Eurovision, we've got it covered. This is Put It Away! Hello, dear Eurovision listeners, and welcome to episode 37 of Put It Away. Before you say anything, this episode is a regular podcast and not a vidcast. But don't worry about it, because of course we will keep on doing those amazing videos that you have all loved and you have all cherished, and we would deeply like to thank you about this. The love that we have received is immense.
How beautiful words from Greece. You must all admit that. But Vienna is over, Bulgaria won, and the Eurovision world has not stopped for a single second since the night of Saturday, the 16th of May.
Yeah. Well, we are all still processing Bangaranga victory. Well, not processing actually, like vibing with it, dancing with it, like totally this beautiful vibe that we got. But we are already asking the next question. What is going to happen next year? Where does Eurovision 2027 go? Who is in? Who is out?
Too many questions in such a short period of time, but we are looking for answers, guys.
This time, we didn't have a quiz last week, so we're just going to dive into it, and we will be discussing all the things that have happened the past week, which are a lot. But it's normal. I mean, Bulgaria just won. We have, all those whispers and rumors and, this one's coming back. This one's not coming back. Oh, that's a scandal. Oh, he was involved in this victory, but no, he wasn't. So, yeah. Don't worry, guys. We've got everything covered. We're here for you. So, yeah. Let's start.
Put it away!
And what a better start than one, not a scandal, but a controversy.
It was, that's for sure.
Yeah, and of course we're talking about Philipp Kirkorov, the one and only legendary Eurovision icon, let's say.
Yeah, well, he has been involved in many Eurovision entries of many countries, and especially countries who don't participate now, which are Russia and Belarus. Well, originally, Philipp Kirkorov comes from Bulgaria, so...
And not only Bulgaria, he comes from Varna, the city of where DARA was born.
Okay, that's another interesting fact. Well, the thing with Philipp Kirkorov is that after victory of Bulgaria, there were many videos that circulated online that they were showing him, who is in fact a supporter of Vladimir Putin, which is a no-go for Eurovision, claiming that he was also behind DARA's victory, he and his team. So that kind of sparked the controversy because it's a very serious claim,
Yeah, actually he posted the video that later on he removed it from his profile, in which he was presented like a Trojan horse invading Eurovision, and somehow he managed to win the whole contest.
Well, in fact, Philipp Kirkorov has been associated with Dimitris Kondopoulos, who is one of the writers of Bangaranga, actually. So it was kind of expected, someone would say, that he would still have ties with those people because they have collaborated in the past in many Eurovision entries.
But you know what? Dimitris Kondopoulos himself told in RFI that while Kirkorov has supported him over the years, he was not involved in this specific project with Bangaranga and DARA.
This is the thing, everybody denied it. Apart from the ones who had to deny it in the first place, which are DARA and BNT, which is the Bulgarian broadcaster.
So, who knows, people across the Eurovision fandom have made their speculations and we can't be sure about what is true and what is not true.
Well, you have the claim by Philipp Kirkorov himself that he says that, I was involved. Some people from the team responded by saying that no, he wasn't, but then the ones directly involved didn't say anything. So this is kind of an in-between. Because, okay, Philipp Kirkorov comes from Varna, which is a Bulgarian city, and I would understand the reason why he would like to be involved in this. I mean, it's your country's first victory. So you are happy about this. But in any case, claiming something that is not true, and especially while you have been associated with countries which are disqualified from Eurovision, that is not so good, someone would say. Not me, but yeah.
Well, I believe that in the future, also BNT and DARA will make their statements, and they will probably disapprove of Philipp Kirkorov's statements.
Yeah.
But until then, there's this controversy going on.
And even the EBU, like, if this is true, what will the EBU do?
That's exactly what is the big question about all this. Does this somehow affect Bulgaria's victory? No.
But you have a person who has been involved with countries who do not participate anymore for the whatever reasons, and not whatever reasons, I mean, you understand, like state involvement, stuff which are kind of banned by the EBU and are very much criticized. So I don't know how this will lead the Eurovision next year if it's about to be true. But what is your opinion, guys? I mean, BNT hasn't said anything. What do you assume by this? The fandom is going crazy. Like, was Philipp Kirkorov in? Wasn't he in? Why does he want to be inside Eurovision again? Well, can't he leave us alone? Oh, yeah, that's good that he was inside because he has offered us so many nice entries in the past years. So
let's see what the future is preparing for us.
But you know what's the most important thing?
What?
That even if this is true, people's opinion about Bangaranga hasn't changed.
Yeah, that's for sure. We see that Bangaranga is growing every day, is getting more and more publicity, and it hits one record after the other in Spotify and in many other music platforms.
Well, yeah, and this is a very, very, very important thing about Dara's career and the future.
We are expecting a lot of interesting things from Dara in the future.
Put it away.
And now, from Bulgaria, let's go a bit northern to Romania. Another returning country, third place this year. But there was a big scandal with the sister country, Moldova.
So we are moving to Romania or to Moldova?
To both, someone could say.
Okay.
So we had an issue, which is quite serious.
Op. If you guys had seen our previous episode, you could see how furious Chris was with the juries and how they voted.
Yes.
And as it seems, it wasn't only Chris furious about this.
Do you know how many comments and messages I have received about this? And they told me like, yes, you're right, we should be furious about this.
Yeah, so please narrate.
Yeah, so this year we had both countries returning to the contest. Usually, those two countries exchange 12 points, both in jury and in televote. However, this year, that wasn't the case, because the Moldovan jury gave only 3 points to Romania. And I'm coming here and I'm asking you, why? Why?
To me, it doesn't make sense. Romania's entry this year with Alexandra Capitanescu and Tsokmi was awesome.
Yeah.
But this wasn't reflected in Moldova's jury voting system. So I don't know what these jurors were thinking when they casted their votes.
But on the other side, you have the Moldovan televote that, of course, awarded 12 points to Romania. And I mean, why not?
Thank God.
Yeah. And then you have the other story, that the Moldovan jury gave 0 points to Ukraine.
Yeah, okay.
It is important because they're also neighboring countries and they also are kind of in a war situation, and Moldova has been super supportive of Ukraine for the past 4 years, so it is important. So after this, the day after, first of all we had Satoshi, who posted an Instagram story that he was basically apologizing to Romania. But Satoshi wasn't the one to blame because he wasn't a part of the jury, but he felt the need to do so.
And not only that, the Director General of Moldova's public broadcaster, TRM, Vlad Turceanu, resigned from his position following the jury's votes.
Imagine how serious this thing is.
I remember back in 2005,
Yes, it was 2005.
Yeah, that we had a similar situation in Moldova and Romania. So this is happening every 20 years, I suppose?
I'm not very sure, but I mean, that was the first Moldovan participation. They received 12 points from Romania, but Moldova gave only 7 points to Romania. And it was pure televote. And that year, in 2005, Romania was third and Moldova was sixth. So they both got great position just like this year. So you see that the pattern kind of exists. And it's always Moldova that is doing that. Guys, get your stuff together. I told you in the previous episode, you have to vote for your neighbor sometimes, especially when they have a great song and they're about to score high.
Please guys, do it because I can't stand Chris being so furious the whole summer.
Come on. In any case, the director of the public broadcaster of Moldova, he said that of course the channel is distancing itself from the jury's opinions. However, he was the one to be held accountable. And this is the reason why he resigned. Because technically, the channel was the one that selected the jurors.
Yeah, well, I think that it wasn't his fault, but someone had to take the blame, and he did it.
Yeah, but I don't know. I mean, thank God you have televote in those cases. That at least, saves the day. Because I really don't think that ever will Moldova give less than 12 points in the televote. They just did it once, 21 years ago, and they're not gonna do it again.
Yeah, but you know what? Someone would say that the jury's role should be this exactly, to be independent and not to focus on neighboring situations. So
now you're telling me that Alexandra Capitanescu didn't deserve 12 points from the Moldovan jury.
No, that's the issue. That Alexandra's song was great. Her performance was fantastic. And in my opinion, she scored really low for the whole stage presentation and the whole performance.
The performance, in general. We also commented that on our reaction for the jury rehearsal of the grand final. Alexandra was incredible. So it wasn't justified what you did, Moldova. I know that the director has resigned, but I don't know if that can fix things. So better get your stuff together and next year exchange some good 12 points with Romania because, you need to somehow save yourselves.
If you, of course, deserve this.
Yeah, obviously, of course. Well, let us know what you think about this scandal, about this issue. Was it justified, the fact that the Director General resigned? Do you agree with the Romanian jury results? Do you believe that it shouldn't have been such a great issue because this is pure nonsense?
Put it away!
Yeah, but now let's leave the past to the past and let's move on to Eurovision 2027. Because we also had some developments regarding the host cities of Eurovision 2027.
Yes.
In fact, 4 cities declared their interest to host the next year's edition. And these cities that submitted their applications were Sofia, of course, the capital of Bulgaria, Burgas, Varna, the home city of DARA, as we said, and Plovdiv.
Okay. So, the national channel's Director General Milena Milutinova confirmed that the city bid will be announced most likely next week or the week after, or whenever they will be ready with the documents, but this is going to be soon, because we assume that Bulgaria has taken things super seriously.
Also, she met with the Prime Minister of Bulgaria, Rumen Radev, and alongside with DARA, of course, to discuss the preparations. And the government reassured the support for hosting, and not only that, they said that they will have a budget of around 20 to 30 million euros for hosting Eurovision 2027.
Which is a lot, we can say.
Yeah, it's going to be probably one of the most expensive Eurovisions of the last decade.
But in general, this proposal that has to be submitted by those 4 cities that are allegedly bidding for next year's hosting have some requirements. You have to have an arena that's going to have a capacity of at least 10,000 people. Separate areas for the artists and their teams. Hair, makeup, a press center with a good capacity for all the journalists that would like to cover the contest. So you guys have a lot of work to do over there in B&T.
So based on this, Sofia is the obvious choice on paper. It's the capital, it's the largest city, the most infrastructure.
Also has the capacity to host people with many hotels and Airbnbs, which is important as well.
Furthermore, Varna and Burgas are the Black Sea options. They're both beautiful cities, they have a great energy, but is the infrastructure there for an event of this scale?
This is something that they have to see because Burgas has one of the biggest resorts in Europe. That's also going to play a very important role when they submit actually their proposal for next year's hosting.
So maybe this could be an option.
Yeah, but will that be enough? I mean, even if you have this big resort, then you're versus the capital city. And the capital city allegedly has more accommodations, has more space, capacity for, hosting this event, which is a huge scale event. People from all over the world are coming.
And what about Plovdiv?
Well, it's one of the oldest cities in Europe. It has an incredible cultural heritage, which will be important, I guess. Has been the European Capital of Culture in 2019. Well, this is also a strong argument that it can actually showcase the cultural version of the country, of the contest, making it a bit more artistic, someone would say.
You know what? It reminds me a little bit of Innsbruck's submission from last year. It would be a very nice choice, but when we saw their proposal on paper, it wasn't enough.
Well, that's true. In any case, still I believe that Sofia is the safest option. And I think it's the safest option for all the aforementioned reasons. It still has some culture, it has great capacity, it has a big arena, it can host an event of that scale, which is the Eurovision Song Contest. But what do you guys think? Which Bulgarian city would you like to explore next year?
Put it away.
And if you guys are planning to travel to Bulgaria next year, you will meet North Macedonia, that is coming back after 2022.
Or at least they intend to come back.
Yes, but they will.
I think so too.
Well, MRT's director, Zoran Ristoski, confirmed that North Macedonia is returning to Eurovision 2027 at a public session.
Well, North Macedonia has been absent for the past 4 years since they last participated in 2022 with Andrea and Circles. They didn't qualify to the final. However, they are returning to their neighbors, which is very important. I mean, you feel, the safe space.
And it is like a common joke among the Balkan citizens. They will just get the bus and travel to Sofia, or in whichever other city will host Eurovision 2027.
Yeah, just like the Greeks in the north will do. They'll just get the car and they will go to Bulgaria. Easy peasy.
Lemon squeezy.
Put it away.
And then we also had another confirmed participation, which is going to be Luxembourg. Despite their first ever non-qualification to the final, which is also a record because Luxembourg was always present in the final of Eurovision apart from this year, the Prime Minister Luc Frieden confirmed in a statement to the Chamber of Deputies that Luxembourg actually intends to participate in Eurovision 2027. He praised the collaboration between RTL and Rockall, and he announced the intention to propose another time a government support.
So, if anyone from public television of Luxembourg listens to our episode, please guys, just do a better national final. We intend to come to Luxembourg next year to be there on site.
Yeah, guys, literally, we're like 2.5 hours. How did we say about North Macedonia and Greece going to Bulgaria? Same thing, Belgium, Luxembourg, 2.5 hours by car. Dudes, come on.
Easy peasy.
Yes.
Put it away.
And we have a third returning country, possible returning country.
Yeah, quite possible, and I believe every Eurovision fan is praising for this return.
Hungary. We last saw them in Eurovision 2019, and now they recently changed their government. And the Prime Minister Peter Magyar, during a visit to Vienna, he told to ORF, which is the national broadcaster of Austria, that he will be instructing the Minister of State Secretary for Culture to examine a possible Hungarian return.
So we all cross our fingers to find out a solution and this beautiful country from the Central Europe to return to Eurovision after so many years.
And we need some Central Europe because we have a lot of countries that don't participate or they are having, some reservations like Slovakia.
Yeah, maybe I would make a call to Slovakia as well.
Yeah, that would be great. And when your Prime Minister comes and he says that there is no objection from my part and there is no sense not to participate in such a contest, that gives me the impression that you guys are ready. Like in September, October, you will be announcing that we're back.
And Budapest 2028 is a very nice option, I think.
Okay, you're going way ahead of yourself, but...
Am I?
Yes, you are. Come on, don't just speak speculations.
Yeah, okay.
But in any case, it's very nice to see that when governments are changing, also the view of the contest is changing. Because there are things that are happening in many countries that they don't allow them to participate, either budgetary, financial, or governmental, political, cultural. This time we have a country that has a very fair share of history in Eurovision that they are actually intending to participate right after they changed their previous prime minister. So great choice, Hungary. I'm very happy.
Put it away.
And now, since you are talking about changes, we also have, I wouldn't say an unfortunate change, but it's indeed a change. Because next year in Belgium, VRT, the Flemish broadcaster, is taking over the Eurovision Song Contest theme, and their plans are not to participate in Eurovision unless we have a clear voting in the next General's Assembly.
Wait, you're going again ahead of yourself. This year Belgium, after 2 years of not qualifying, qualified to the final, with the help of the juries in the semi-final. RTBF chose to participate despite the reservations of VRT. So next year, of course, VRT doesn't want to be a part of this. However, in my opinion, one of the, let's say, factors to be considered is that in Belgium we had the lowest viewership since 2018, which happened in also many countries, but we will be discussing that in a different episode. In any case, this is one factor to consider, because if you participate and even if you pass or don't pass to the final, if you don't have a revenue from Eurovision, plus you have this huge reservation about Israel participating, then I don't see you being there next year, unfortunately. And we're talking as people who live in Belgium.
We of course want Belgium to be part of the Eurovision family next year. So please, if anyone from VRT is listening to our episode, please reconsider your position, express your position clearly, and take all the guarantees needed just to participate in Eurovision 2027.
You want my opinion on this? Like
Yeah.
my fair opinion?
Yeah, of course.
I don't think that Belgium is going next year. Because I don't think that the vote for the participation of Israel is going to take place.
Okay, let's see.
So it's going to be very sad. Deep down, I really hope that they're going to change their mind, but I really understand their reservations because last year we were supposed to have a vote about Israel participating. We didn't have this. 5 countries withdrew, 3 countries came back, but in any case, it was a loss for the Eurovision world. So if we're going to have Belgium not participating, it's not going to be very good.
Yeah, so let me ask you a theoretical question. Imagine that next year both Netherlands and Iceland return to the contest and Belgium doesn't participate.
Yes.
Would be good, would be better, would be worse for the contest itself?
Yeah, to me, it will be worse. Whenever you lose a country, no matter what country that is, it's a loss for the contest. If it is for the Israeli issue, if it is for a cultural, political, internal issue of the country, if it's for budgetary issues, it's still a loss for the contest, no matter how many countries are coming back. And Belgium has been participating for many, many years. It has won once. It has a big history. So I think that the EBU wants them in.
I believe that everybody wants them in.
And we also need to take into account that VRT might be the Flemish broadcaster, but it's completely autonomous from the Netherlands. So even if the Netherlands come back, which I doubt, I don't think that VRT would like to participate.
Let's see, we hope for the best and we will be there to discuss any developments about Eurovision 2027.
Tell us, guys, what do you think about this? What do you think about the returning countries? What do you think about Hungary's decision after so many years to come back? What do you think about Belgium? And what do you actually believe is going to happen with the Israeli issue? Will we have a vote this year? Or you think it's going to just pass like this?
Put it away.
I believe it's time to wrap this episode up.
It is. But before we wrap it up, we have to add a quiz because we forgot about our quizzes. And people are asking for the quizzes.
It's not that we forgot about the quizzes, but we had so many issues to discuss that we decided to just skip this part of our episodes and make them come back when we come back to the normal podcast episodes.
So this week, our quiz is going to be the following.
Put it away.
Okay, you know that Bulgaria won Eurovision 2026. And they received a lot of 12 points from the jury. 4, if I'm not mistaken. When was the last time that Bulgaria received 12 points from the juries? Let us know in all our social media platforms. We are everywhere, on Facebook, on Instagram, on X, on Threads, on TikTok. You can also listen to the episode, rate us on Spotify, on Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, YouTube as well. Please let us know what you think. Leave us a comment. Tell us if we're saying things right or if we're saying things wrong. Give us your opinion about all the topics that we discussed, and we're just looking forward to listening to what you think about the developments of Eurovision.
So that's all, folks. The show is over. The points are counted. Until next week, don't forget to
Put it away. Put it away.